Hey guys, Anfield here, welcome back to another video. Today's video is a guide about the tribute wagon. I actually made a guide about this back in 2017, however, there have been changes to the game since then that will alter how you approach this event, such as silver no longer weighing anything. So, as before, I will primarily focus on the ranger strategies, but if you've never done the tribute wagon before, this video should still be very helpful to you. So what is the tribute wagon? Simply put, the tribute wagon is a moving money pinata. You hit the wagon as it journeys from Velia or Heidel to Calphian City. In the lore, it represents the tribute paid to Calphian from Heidel and Velia as they're under the control of Calphian. In fact, the money from the wagon would actually go into the coffers of the guild that currently controls Calphian Castle. However, it is extremely rare for any money to make it to that guild, as the wagon usually empties before it completes its journey. So how does it work? The wagon departs from either Velia or Heidel 2 hours before the start of Siege, which occurs at the same time a node war usually would start. However, this is obviously on Saturday since it's Siege Day. The wagon drops loot based on your hits landed on it, so damage is actually irrelevant. As soon as you hit the wagon, you become flagged, but this isn't the normal flagging for PvP you might be familiar with, so you don't lose any karma, but you can only hit others that have also hit the wagon, or of course guilds that you're at war with. The wagon always follows the exact same path, and only appears on Balanas 1 and Serendia 1. Depending on which you want to try, you need to be on the channel relating to the region of the city. So basically, simply put, if you want to hit the wagon leaving from Velia, then you need to be on Balanas 1. If you want to hit the one going from Heidel, you need to be on Serendia 1. So let's talk strategy. As I mentioned previously, the wagon only drops silver, which is 5 million per drop. When you achieve enough hits, the wagon will drop for you. Your damage is completely irrelevant, so cheap DP gear to protect you against other players, as well as DP buffs, because you can be killed by either player splash or even deliberate damage. So this is recommended that you just focus on DP related gear, or at least use your Kudum at the very least. And because it's dropping silver, you want to have your pets on agile to pick that up for you. And if you have tier 4 pets, this is extra helpful due to the increased range, as getting close to the road is pretty dangerous. For rangers, I recommend using the skill Razorwind, which is a fast-firing ranged ability with plenty of hits. This ability is faster than the Awakening, however it lacks the forward guard provided by the Succession. Regardless of your choice of spec, here you want to keep your attack speed bonuses up. So for the Awakening you can use Vine Knot, and for both specs you could use Regeneration to give you attack speed. And of course, you want to always absorb your 100% rage whenever you get it. You can do this by killing some of the mobs as well around, especially if you are spec'd for Succession. You'll probably have Descending Current ready to go, so you can just kill a bunch of one-hittable mobs for extra rage, since each mob you kill gives you 1% rage back. You also want to make sure you use your Awakening buff or Succession buff, depending on what you want, because both give attack speed. For all players, I recommend buying 3 elephant traps and placing them 10 minutes before the start of wagon along the road and the route. You'll find a surprising amount of players on elephants. This is because they have tons of HP and can attack the wagon without being CC'd. To further abuse this, they actually usually form platoons to avoid damaging each other. The elephants especially mess up the event for melee players, and the more people placing elephant traps, the more elephants get trapped, and then people can participate in the event properly. I also recommend having a horse whistle. You may die a lot from other players, and you will need to respawn node and stuff, so being able to whistle your horse from a longer range is a huge bonus. Also recommend you whistle your horse as you go along, so it doesn't fall too far behind and gets out of whistle range. Just be cautious where you whistle your horse to so that it isn't killed by players immediately and it's still in a safe enough area. So there are a couple other things you need to look out for. First is the owners of Calphian Castle defending the wagon. This is kind of futile, as it is essentially impossible to prevent the wagon from emptying because there's so many players before it reaches Calphian. Despite this, some guilds do sometimes try to do it anyway. In the clips that you were watching, you can see the guild Voss, which currently owns Calphian. At the time of the video, they were trying to defend the wagon. If you suspect this may be the case, then you may want to ward the guild more than 15 minutes before the start of wagon. Otherwise, they can hit you with no way for you to retaliate. Next is players that don't hit the wagon to avoid flagging, but attack those that do because it's the best PvP they can get. There isn't much you can do about this, but again, DP gear will help you with it. There are also some guilds that use the wagon as an opportunity to fight guilds they're at war with. If you have a ghillie suit on, you may be caught in the crossfire. They may think you're a war target because you look the same. However, I still recommend you do use a ghillie because it makes you less of an obvious target for the players that are just attacking people randomly. If you notice the wagon not dropping anything, then you can leave. It usually empties about 2/3 of the way through its journey, and then the event itself only lasts about 15 to 20 minutes, but that can be extremely profitable for such a short time investment. So that about wraps up the video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that it was helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, as usual, you can feel free to ask them in the comments on my stream or on my Discord. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.